And what you want, G? Yeah, and I'm about to put you out. Period. Hi, Sydney!
Yeah, with your bag, I'm putting in the room next door.
Good morning, Baltimore! I am Bestie Armani Joyce. I'm your host, and glad to be back. Woo! All right, y'all. We're gonna do my attendance, but we're gonna do it shout out version, okay? If you're if I say or, I need you to stand up and tell me your name, okay? I get a little confusing because what's so hard? We're gonna see how it goes. All right, the first person to see, because they're not here. Naso, y'all here? Naso. Please tell your friends in Naso they need to get here as soon as possible. All right, MSDO. Period. Okay, so the first person I see from MSDO is, last name is Boca. And what's your name? I'm sorry? Okay. Guys, shout out to MSDO. We are looking for co-sponsors. Let's get, come on, y'all. Come on. All right. All right. Next person I see is FWIB. Hi. What's your name? And what's your name? I got you. Oh, did you also FWI or did you spell it out? Got it. Thank you. Next up, we got Red Hot Catholic RHC. RHC. Good morning. What's your name? What did you do? Esther. Got it. All right, I'm hoping that you guys put all your key cards in front of the lab, or I have to hunt you down. All right, we got Boys on Unity. Girl, I called you group, and I have to look at you. I said Boys on Unity. Don't make me waste my energy now. It's too early for that. Yes. Can I have your name? State your name. Lakendra. And Brittany. Thank you for joining us today. All right. That's so still not here? Oh, okay. I'm back. Where's your partner in crime?
I think he's still coming downstairs.
He's on his way. Now, so you made roll call twice. Because your partner in crime not here, so you have to be. You need a full keyboard. GMB, where you at? Actually, what time is y'all? He's in the strong. He was like, what's your name? And what's your name? Charles. Charles, I feel like I took calc with you. I did pre-calc. You're like a nice young lady. She's very young.
That's
I'm sorry. Wait.
You said MSDM.
MSDM?
Yeah.
When did I say that?
She said
I don't think so. Mm-hmm.
She said no. Sorry.
Hi, Sydney. Okay. We lost the train of thought. Mr. GMB and then Charles said something, right? All right, so I got a little tired of doing name calls, so I'm gonna take a break and do an icebreaker with you guys. Don't we love a good icebreaker? Thank you, because everybody else in here is a little sleepy. Don't we love a good icebreaker? First of all, when Sydney up here, I need more energy, okay? And Sydney is the bomb to beat, okay? So y'all can't play her like that, okay?
I got you, Charles.
All right, everyone, come on, follow me. Everyone get up.
We're choir. Y'all ready?
Damn, I should have got coffee.
All right, come on, everyone, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Ready? Come on. No. That's what I was saying. It's the last day. I got energy. Come on.
Yo, you're terrible. She is the
No, like, I started the coffee. I was like, damn, I should have. I'm slacking. You guys have all the cover.
You don't need
Like, I'll be like, oh, she needs the bathroom. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
No, it's not there. No, she's really taking them all out. I guess.
That's what I'm
Yo,
saying.
let's go. Come on.
Yo, let's follow. Let's, get the laptop. Yeah, we're streaming. Hey, guys. So I don't know who's watching this, but hey, what's up, you guys? This is the SGA.
Yo, it's not a speak.
And Donna Speaks.
Should be nice.
Cabinet member. Follow the SGA. And no one, but for future, yeah. Say hi. Remove, I don't know. Team building, icebreaker activity. Yeah, just watch it on live stream. I'm sorry.
We got 1 minute to get everybody in here. So that we can start on time.
Everyone say good morning.
Good morning, Baltimore. All right, you see this right here?
Nice little word.
So you guys got to fill in.
Huh?
Fill in. All right, good morning.
I just have it up, but I'm probably gonna save it for like later.
Good morning. Good morning. Are you guys excited for another day, another long day, but with information? Okay, so we're gonna do everybody. Period. No tamp. All right, so the icebreaker is very simple. Guess what? Do you guys know, besides if you know someone in here, do you guys know everyone's name? No, right? I hate the name game where you gotta go around and say my name. It's too many of us for that. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you a number. 1, 2, 3. I think it's like 7 rows. When you go back in there, that's your new row. You're gonna start to mingle. You're gonna start going outside of your comfort zone, and you're gonna co-sponsor with someone else you never co-sponsor with. Okay? So easy like this. Y'all ready? Remember y'all numbers. Y'all ready? Yeah. You're 1. You're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. No. Yeah. Slow down. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 7. Okay. So please, group number 1, you're over here. Make it quick. 1 over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10.
Get closer.
Come on. 1, 2, 2. All right. Now, are you guys listening? Period. So now in your group, I'm giving you guys a minute to get to know, a minute to follow their e-board on social media, to do all that in a minute. You got a minute. They're finding.
Wait, I want.
You got a minute.
Hi guys, my name is Carla Farfan and welcome back to the SGA's YouTube channel. This is Christy. That's Guillermo. This is Ashawn. And we are the SGA. Do you think anyone's watching?
That's 30 seconds, y'all slacking.
No one's watching.
Oh, wait, what?
No one's watching. It's okay, I'm gonna send this all out to
Yeah,
the
what you
org.
were saying now, imagine. Imagine.
I look so cute. Look. Here, this is gonna be posted.
I just said that. I'm like, that's the one that's too long. It's too long. Everyone's saying it's too long. On the count, and it's like everyone.
What's that?
I want to get it.
Yeah.
It's fine. 10 o'clock. All right, I got 20 seconds. 20,
10,
19, 15, 16, 13.
Yeah, babe, you missed
10, 9, 5, 3,
17.
17.
Turn the Wi-Fi off. Everybody turn off the Wi-Fi.
Use a little bit of data that you got. You guys are done? All right. The first group to be done, come run to me. I got a prize for you. The first group that is done, get a prize.
Guys, the first group that's done gets a
Girl, you gotta clap. They don't hear you. Don't clap. Gotta go.
How much you hear?
I know. All right.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know for a fact because I just got hella followers on your page. On the
I know I'm gonna hear it.
That's just checking. That's the big difference. Oh, you can finish first.
All right. All right, everyone. Get funky with it. Get funky with it. All right, so group one won because, you know, it's just the best. So did everyone get their social media? Their names? Okay, test run. What is her keyboard name? Do you know her? What's it? Don't ask questions now. What is her keyboard name? Okay. Excuse me. What's her keyboard name? All right, next icebreaker. Y'all ready? You guys do back in your circles. You got like 1 minute here.
Hurry,
You get back in your
Farfan.
Wait up, time is it?
Farfan Miguel.
Almost time to go.
The Farfan Miguel administration. 7. Guys, that looks so
Yes.
cute.
Yes.
All right, so we're good, right? Are you guys, we're ready to go back because it starts in 3.
Yeah, we're about to go.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna just make sure the information.
Okay. All right, this one is so easy. It's an energizer. It's so easy. Stay with me. So easy.
So easy.
Just like doing Forex. It's so easy. Like they tell us this. So it's so easy, okay?
We're not Ford funded.
All right, so the next icebreaker is so simple, right? I'm going to say a name, right? If you associate with the name or the object or anything that I say, you have to find a different spot with the person that also has the same thing common with you. So if I say I'm a part of BSU, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna switch, but you can't like, I'm gonna come in her spot before, you gotta go home. And me too, she can't stay in her spot, she's part of BSU too. So she has to switch. All right, so if I'm a part of SGA org, what do? Everyone has to move and find a different spot, okay? So the object of the game is, you understand?
So the way it works, right?
Yeah, under the.
I'm gonna say something, right?
I know,
If you want
Captain.
Montclair State, you all have to move because you guys all wear Montclair State. But if I start going like, if you're wearing white pants, then you have to move. If you're wearing white sneakers, you have to move. And find a different spot with someone else. If you do not, you cannot stay in the same spot, okay? We got 1 minute to do this game, so let's make it quick. Y'all ready? Yeah. All right. If you are wearing white sneakers, white sneakers. All right, you're in. No, you see how I always know Richard is. So Richard, he didn't move too fast. You were a little slow.
You got
You're not giving
longer
what it
legs.
needs to give, okay?
You have long
So you
legs.
gotta speed it up. So now you gotta come up with an object or something.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Hurry up. We got 1 minute.
If your org is part of like a cultural org.
Ooh.
Come on. Hello. Who's the last person? Oh, yes. Last one, guys. Make it good because it's the last one.
The last one.
Yes.
I go to MSU.
If you go to MSU. All right. Thank you guys for participating with my packet list. We are heading back.
Hi.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Can't wait to see it. Yes. In my bag.
I can sit down. First, I can sit down.
Hey guys, so Cindy's here. She's gonna do her presentation, so I would really appreciate it if everyone sat down quietly, please, and quickly. Thank you so much.
Yes, my bad.
Hi, everybody. All right, everybody say, hi, Mama C. Thank you very much. I love that. Okay, just to be sure, and I mean this sincerely, especially the front row, is it all right with you if I take my mask off? Thank you. I want to make sure. One of the things that you're going to get from student communications pretty soon is an email about masks and nobody is judging anybody who wears a mask or doesn't wear a mask. Now, obviously, the rules of the university need to be followed. But let's say you're sitting down at a table and you're having lunch with somebody. You might want to take my mask off. Because you want to make sure your fellow Redhawks are comfortable and you're comfortable. Nobody's judging anybody. Everybody is about everyone's safety and everyone's comfort, right? Because Redhawks care about Redhawks. Okay, good. Just want to mention that. Okay, so who am I? Who doesn't know me? Really? Holy God. I gotta get out more. No, because COVID, I'm all over the place. My rock off thing, and talking about it. But the last year and a half, it's been very lonely. Okay, so student communications. Let me give you a very brief history. And both of my children graduated from Montclair State. Josh in 15, Sarah in 16 and 18. For the first 16 years of my work at Montclair, I was the web goddess, lowercase g, I don't mess with it. But I spoke with, everybody remember Dr. Karen Pennington? Just recently retired. She and I worked together for years on emergency communications and web for her division, et cetera. And I said, they do a great job talking to students to get them to campus. And then when they're alumni, but when they're on campus, it's the wild, wild west. Now, most of you, not all of you, were not here when I started this department 7 years ago. Anybody, and I mean anybody, could send an email to all students listserv. All 20,000 plus students could get an email from Joe, and you have absolutely no idea who Joe was. So we spent a year researching. I talked to every student I could find. We did surveys saying, how do you want us to talk to you? How do you want us to communicate with you? And where do you want us? Where don't you want us? And how do you want us to work? And we've done that every year since. Believe it or not, you all want email. But you don't want it from anybody. You want it from generic email accounts. You don't want it to come too often. You want it to work on your cell phone. You want it to be focused, entertaining, engaging, a subject head and a subhead that tells you what it's about before it's over. And you want it to be reliable, dependable, and regular. So that's what we do. How can we help you communicate to your fellow Redhawks about your programming, about your organization, to get people involved? That's why I'm here today. Okay, so this is what we do in order to make sure that everybody on the campus feels engaged, informed, connected, and have Redhawk pride. If you are looking for our office to come visit, this is why I put this picture. You see the C? That's why I said I'm Mama C. My office is right on the other side of that. This is the Student Center Annex. So if you ever want to come say hi, let me offer you a hot or cold beverage and a snack and talk to you about how we can help you with your communication, please stop by and say hello anytime. Okay. The emails that we send out have one thing in common. They are always being analyzed. We're always asking everybody, is this clear? Is this the way you want it? I can tell you how many times an email is opened. I can't tell you who's opening it, but I can tell you how many times it is open. If a methodology that we're using is not working, we will change it because there is absolutely no reason for us to keep sending out something that you're not engaged in. So we always are looking at the analytics. We're always targeting audiences. How do we target? Well, we have listservs. Anybody know what a listserv is? Okay, a listserv is a group of emails. So when I said all students, that is a listserv that has every undergraduate and graduate student on it. But I can also send an email just to the undergraduate students. That's a listserv. I can send it to the graduate students. I can send it, how many people here are residents? We send you emails. It only goes to the residents. Commuters, same thing. We have commuter life emails that go out so that you're not getting an email that isn't related to you. This also lessens the amount of emails that we send out to you rather than sending one out to everybody. Okay, if you're a resident, pay attention to this. Because wouldn't that just like tick off the computer? That's what a listserv is. Analytics, we're always looking at the open rate. What email topic do you think consistently gets the most open? Nope. Nope. Yes. Nope.
Weather cancellations?
Thank you. The university is closed. Snow days. That always gets the most. Bingo. The second one is anything to do with bills or getting a parking permit. Now we have about 23,000 students on the all-student listserv. We recently sent one out about don't forget to pay your bill and get payment plans. How many times do you think that email was open? 23,000 students. How many times do you think that email was open? No, but 57,000 times. That means people are opening it twice or sending it to whom to look at? Parents, right? So we know when emails are being opened, but we're also trying to make them engaging so that people will read them, not just open them. So one of the challenges that we have is that because you're looking at it on your phone, I gotta make sure that that thing works and that you're not scrolling forever and ever and ever to get to the information that you're looking for and you want. That's one of the reasons why we keep looking at it, seeing how it's doing. Red Hawk News. During the summer, we've been doing it every other week, but as of this past Monday, regular Red Hawk News is on schedule again on Mondays. This is a newsletter that combines information about deadlines and reminders, which, by the way, is the number one thing students say they want to be reminded. They want to be told when deadlines are, when they have to do something, and what they have to do. The next thing they want to know about, the number 2 topic, events. They want to know about events. And they want to know about jobs, internships, job fairs, and then everything else kind of trickles down pretty evenly about support services, wellness services, sports, etc. But those are the 3 top topics that we want to know about. Then we have our social media. How many people are following any of our social media? Love you. Good. That's Hannah. Sorry, Hannah couldn't be with you today. We had our team training this weekend, and she's just wrapping everything up this morning. Hannah is the manager of our social media with students. It is student run because even though Hannah is much younger than I am, we both know, you all know where we should be. And we want to hear from our students, our student teams, to hear what we should be doing on social media. Red Hawk Life social media is the one that will pretty much support and repeat what we're putting in Red Hawk News, as well as have polls and fun things and contests, etc. Rocky the Red Hawk, extremely popular social media. People love Rocky. Which one of those platforms do you think gets the most attention for Rocky? Oh, yes. And that is all because of a student that worked with us who just recently graduated, Taylor. She was the one that started it. She was the one who said it should be there. She was the one that conceived how Rocky should be a part of it. And again, when students say what they want, we say yes. Red Hawks of Montclair State. How many people here have been profiled on the Red Hawks of Montclair State Instagram? 1, 2, 2. All right. You don't have to have an Instagram account to be profiled on this. This is like Humans of New York. And every single one of you should be profiled on here. If you don't have an Instagram account, just email them. If you have it, DM them. Get profiled. They will take your picture on campus, wherever your favorite spot is. You get to tell your fellow Red Hawks a little bit about yourself, a story, something that you want to share with them, and then they get to see you, you get to see them. Please, please, we need to make sure our students get to meet you and see you and hear from you. Okay, next. This is another thing that we do, and on it we do have announcements that we link to. We do have news to link to. We will be linking to in the loop, which I'm about to tell you in a minute. So if you don't have the Nest mobile app downloaded, please encourage everybody you know to coordinate with Nest. Rocky, who doesn't love Rocky? Come on. He's the best mascot ever, right? Come on, he's the best. He is unlike any other mascot. You go to any other school, they pretty much go to sports. He's all over the place. He is, 20 years in the making. And the team is all about making sure Rocky's there to support your organization. We have a lovely form that you can fill out in order to request Rocky to come to your event. You need to hear me very carefully. Rocky supports all and loves all Red Hawks. He is not supportive of one versus another. He will attend the SGA elections presentation as a group, but does not support individual candidates. He is about supporting all Red Hawks. So if you need Rocky to come to your event, he will be also profiling clubs and organizations. That is what he does. What we need you to do on that form, though, is to be very specific about what you need Rocky to do at your event. It can't be we need Rocky to hang out for a whole hour. Anybody have an idea why Rocky can't just hang out at your event for a whole hour? It's hot. It's very, very, very hot in that outfit, indoors or outdoors. So be specific. I need Rocky to be there in order to hand out prizes. We need Rocky to be there for a opportunity in front of our banner. We need to give specifics so that we can figure out the time frame, if he's going to be indoors, if he's going to be outdoors, all of that, as well as contact information. Because while Rocky is Rocky, it's also a student team. And sometimes students get sick. Sometimes students have a very tense exam. Sometimes there is something wrong with family, and we may have to contact you and say, give us an extra 10 minutes. We got to get you a new Rocky. Now, I need everybody to raise their right hand. Or actually, sorry, dominant hand. Your left-handed, your left hand. Now, repeat after me. I promise never to ask who's Rocky. Thank you. You cannot imagine how many times people, and I need you to tell your clubs and organizations this, do not run up to Rocky and say, who's in there? Who's under there? I know that person. I know who's under there. I know that. Don't do that. You're taking away the magic and the mystery and the fun of being Rocky the Red Hawk. Who has seen what happens at commencement ceremonies for those people who are Rockies? What happens? They get to wear the feet, and the handlers get to wear the gloves. This is called their reveal. They go to the Red Hawk statue, they take pictures, and we reveal. We had one student. She was in a sorority. She was in a half a dozen organizations. She was Rocky freshman year through. Nobody knew. Not until her commencement. That is something dear to their hearts, to try and have that magic reveal and graduate. So please encourage people to not run over and try to lift the head and see who's under there, or guess who it is, or post on social media. I saw Rocky come out, then I saw so-and-so come out of the office later, so he or she must be Rocky. Don't do that. Don't take away the magic. It makes them cry. Now, when you see Rocky out on the cart and all about, and things are happening, and you say, well, my organization's having an event or something, can you stop and take a picture? Just understand that maybe he's on his way someplace on a deadline. But if he can, he will. But if the handlers say, I'm sorry, we really got to get to such and such right now, we'll catch you later. Be understanding about it. Okay, website. The Student Services website is something that we hope every single student uses the Nest app to get to, as well as bookmark it on the computer, because this is where we have the news under here. I couldn't get a picture of it. There's news under here. There are links to engage. We are promoting in tomorrow's Red Hawk News. Hey, everybody, follow Engage. How many people here are sophomores? Right, you're actually freshmen because you weren't actually here. So this is your freshman year, right? Because you weren't on campus that much. We want to make sure that everybody understands, everybody, whether they were familiar with Engage or not, that this is where they're going to find you guys. This is where they're going to get your information, your activities. Rave, how many people here have logged into their Nest account and made sure that their cell phone number is correct? I'm not seeing all the hands. Everybody has to do that. And you have to tell your clubs and organizations, I am the person that sends out the 3 o'clock in the morning messages. I'm the one that sends out the text messages that says, if God forbid there's an emergency on campus. Please make sure your clubs and organizations know to update through Nest their cell phone under emergency communication so that we can get to you. And then right after we send out the text message, we send out an email to you with the details. Okay, now we're going to get into how do we promote your stuff. Who knows what I send out on Sunday evenings before I'm allowed to have my dinner? What email? Right, but what's it called? In the Loop, right. In the Loop used to be a PDF. We don't do PDFs. Why don't we do PDFs? Anybody have an idea why we don't do PDFs? I already got you, so I'm going to hit somebody in the back. True, nobody opens them. Why should you open PDFs? But what's another reason why you shouldn't use PDF? Sometimes it downloads onto your phone automatically, and we don't like that. That's very good. You can't edit them. Once you send them, they've got it. That's a problem. But also with emails. We try very hard to make sure our emails are what is called text-based. So if anybody is visually impaired and they have software that reads their email or their web pages, it will tell them what's on there. But a PDF is a solid image, which is another reason why when we use images, they're augmentation. They are not ever going to be an image with all of the information about an event on it. Because what you have to use is something called an alt tag. Alt tags give people the description of the image. So if you have on your phone or your web page, do not automatically load the images. Sometimes you'll see text that describes what the image is. That's an alt tag. So whenever anybody says to us, can you please put this image in such and such, and it tells them all about your event, tells them the title, the location, the time, everything, we will say no. We will say, give us an image that supports that information, and then give us the text information. So that if somebody is using software to read their email or their web information, they will hear it rather than it be an image that says big event. Okay? What we do in the loop is this what or not. I don't know. This must be a pain in the neck. But every time we ask, students want it. They want it in chronological order. It used to go out on Fridays, and students gave us feedback and said, I want it on Sundays. Okay, so I send in the loop out on Sundays. By Thursday afternoon, we have a student who goes through Engage and makes a text Google Doc for me. Friday, I code it. That means I put all the HTML in to make the email work. Sunday, I mail it. So if you put an event Engage on Saturday for next week, it's not going to be in the loop. So please make sure that if you have any event coming up in the following week, it's in your Engage portal by Thursday afternoon. Okay? Use catchy headlines. Don't say information session on your Engage title. If you're going to do that, at least put the club or organization's name in it. Because what we do is we go into Engage, we pull your title, we put down your, put it in the day that it's going to be happening, we put the beginning time and end time and the location. So, and then we link to it. So if your title of your event is kind of, that's what's going to appear in the loop. So try to make it engaging. Whenever you are creating something in Engage, use bullet items. Don't just have long paragraphs. How many people here like to read a long paragraph about the details of something? Anybody? But if you saw bullets that said it's going to be this, it's going to be this, it's going to be this, it's going to be this. More engaging? Good. Love it. Give them the facts about the event. Let them know if they are welcome to go. You guys have some sort of meetings and stuff that are just meant for members, right? But you also have things that are for everybody to come to, right? Say it in your, we welcome everybody. Everybody is welcome. So that if Cindy's looking at it thinking, I'll know from your description. And give them as much detail as possible without going on and on and on too much like I do. Don't use acronyms if you can possibly do it. If everybody know what CEHS stands for. That's okay. See, acronym. Very good. Did everybody else know that? Okay. So the first time you list something like that, put the College of Education and Human Services, paren, CEHS, paren, and they'll learn it. But make sure that what's familiar to you that may not be familiar to somebody else is explained. Please. Times. This is how we do it. We do Thursday, January 26th, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Why do we do that? Because students asked for it. We used to just do the date and the time. But someone said, see, I know my schedule for Thursdays, but I don't know if January 26th is a Thursday. So could you tell me that up front so I can see whether or not I am available? So student feedback. We love student feedback so much because we make it better. We always say out the name of the location and the room. This is also just other stuff if you want to take a look at. These are the standards that we use, just in case anybody is saying, why do you do it the way you do it? This is the university's editorial standard. If you'd like to follow it, it's usually good to be consistent, but it's not absolutely mandatory. But if you'd like to, it's something that the students say they read quickly. And there's another thing. We all are very comfortable reading from left to right, ragged right edge, upper and lowercase. So if you want to keep people's attention and you want them to be able to read things quickly, do it this way. If you use block text and all uppercase, it takes human beings twice as long to read it and comprehend it. So don't do that. Do it this way. This way they read fast and they get it. Okay. These are our student teams. We have the communication support team. Lots of our students work with us. I get to see them. And they do videography, photography, they work on the editorial, they do in the loop. A lot of them work with us, and they're always giving us feedback about how we can do things better. Then we have Team Rocky, yay, Team Rocky. And then we have the Red Hawks of Montclair State Instagram. The communication support team is also very, very supportive and active in our social media activities. And then we have Hawk Squad. That's the one you want to know. Hawk Squad was started a year ago because students said they want to hear from other students about clubs and organizations and about events. So we now have over 25 students in Hawk Squad that can come to your event, and then social media on our social media sites to say, great event you should come to right now. Bored, sitting around, got nothing to do, come on. Or also promote your club and organization. So please follow the Hawk Squad, get in touch with us. We'll tell you how to get involved and connected with Hawk Squad, and here we are, us. That's my office. This entire thing I just described to you is managed by the three of us. Hannah and I do most of the communication work. Dominic is the foreperson that we keep turning to saying, can you make this work technically, please? He also is managing right now the monitors that are in College Hall, and we are slowly trying to take over the world and get all the monitors on campus, because I don't know about you guys, but I find most of them to be useless. They're there, and there are times. How many people have sat in the Feliciano's atrium area? And I went in there one time and I said to 3 different students very quietly, close your eyes. Tell me how many monitors there are in this area. All 3 of them said, there are 10 monitors in that area. Actually, I think there are more. There are 10 at the time. People are constantly putting things up on their monitors that nobody has enough time to read. They put too much text up there. It's too tiny. God, help me. The one that is up on the 5th floor of University Hall for Information Technology. Teeny, tiny, little print. And so much, and then it's gone. So we're doing our best to get control of the monitors in a very positive way to help people actually use them very effectively. The monitors that we use have a very small amount of information, has supporting imagery and a QR code. And it stays up there long enough for you to be able to say, I'm interested in that angle. Cool. Thank you. So that you can get more detail. And it doesn't just flip. However, I do like the ones with the hanging cats. They sometimes are inspirational, but you know, we do that. But we're working on it. So, perfect. All right. Anybody got questions? Anybody got questions about how we can support your club organization or anything at all about student communications? Team Rocky. Rocky himself, other than who he is. Yes. DM them. Thank you. Yes, I'll be back.
Is there a hybrid movement?
Yes, there is. You must be between 5'8" and 6'2". It's only because the outfit looks a little creepy. If it's my height, I mean, it's not inspirational if I put it on. And we have found that some people, there are people who are afraid of mascots. And the handlers are trained to look to see if someone's doing this. And they guide Rocky away from that person because there are people who have a mascot fear. And we have found that somebody putting on the outfit that's over 6'2" looks a little ominous. Yeah. So we do that height. However, if you do know members on Team Rocky and you say, that person is tall enough. Not all of our team members want to be Rocky. So just because they're the right height doesn't mean they are, because they want to be the person talking. They want to be the one engaging, and some are really claustrophobic. They want to be in the outfit. Yes, he does have a family, and it's growing as the suits get old. We come up with other members. That you've seen Roxy, the red outfit. Yeah, that was a boo-boo. We ordered the outfit, and they said red. They said the red one. No. But we decided to make Roxy the sister. You need to at least be 5'8" for that. So you don't have to, around that height as well. But there is also another very old outfit that only comes out on Halloween. Ricky. Ricky is his cousin, and the reason we try to only have him come out at Halloween is because he is creepy as all hell. It is such an old, decrepit outfit, and we let Ricky come out at Halloween. And believe it or not, years ago we had a little baby outfit and a little toddler outfit, but it never came with a head or the feet. It was just the body. So we have it as our memento about those days. But we sometimes a handler will be lucky enough. Usually a senior will be Ricky. It is extremely. Any other questions? How we can help you, support you, anything about student communications? Anybody have any ideas? Yes. No, we're free. My father used to tell my sister it was okay to be easy. But, which upset my mother. My mother would say, "Oh, I'm kidding." No, anything about our services it's completely free. If they go to one of your events and you happen to have a giveaway of some kind and you feel like you'd like to give one to whoever is Rocky or the handler, that's very kind of you, but it is not necessary. Okay? But we do not charge a penny for Rocky or Hawk Squad or any of our groups to be supportive and at your events. Rocky's actually been invited and gone to 4 weddings of alumni. The first one, it was a surprise. The groomsmen were also graduates, and they asked if Rocky would come. And right after they finished their dance together, they introduced and now a special guest to dance with you on the floor, and Rocky came in. So Rocky goes to other mascots' birthday parties and activities. Anybody know Gritty, Philly, the ice hockey thing? Yeah, he's gone there. He goes because he's got Montclair State all over his chest. So he goes to everything we're invited to as to represent Montclair. So we're all over the place. And just so that you know, every single member of our student squad gets paid nothing. They don't earn a dime. It's all volunteer. It's all Red Hawk Pride. The only student that gets any money is our graduate assistant team coordinator. But that's also very minimal, unfortunately. We have Red Hawk Pride out of us, and we want to be supportive of you guys. We want to make sure that your events and your clubs and organizations are getting connected to all the other Red Hawks out there. So if you have any questions, if you have any problems, if you don't remember anything I said, if you just want to talk, remember, where is Mama C? Behind the sea. Come and see me. Okay? Any other questions? Love you. See you, Red Hawk. Hi, guys. So, y'all, let me tell y'all the truth. I'm sitting there, right? I'm hyping, right? Someone my show gonna pass me a bit. So now I have 3 of them Jones in my mouth. But anyway, he really did.
So actually, let me flip that around because that's kind of unprofessional of me.
Yes.
Okay. So for the next session is the SGA Q&A. But before, I'm gonna be kind of like strict with this. We're gonna do 10 questions. The reason why I say 10 questions is because they have office hours, and for you to really get to the e-board and really experience who they are, you have to start meeting them and making appointments with them so you can have that one-on-one session. Because when it's in a big group like this, it's kind of like a lot. So 10 questions, and to get the 10 questions, you gotta ask me a question. Basically, I'm gonna ask you a question, you guys have to answer. So I'm gonna point to someone who wants to ask a question. Raise your hand. All right. Okay. Zara, BSU, you have a question? All right, so my first question for you is, what is your budget for the year? 2,000. Is that the maximum? Okay. All right, so Zara from BSU is first. Okay, next person, who wants to ask a question? Yaski. Now y'all don't have a question, huh? Because when she was up here, y'all was hammering him down. Tommy, what's up? Tommy from where, Brotherhood? What's your question? Wait, you can't ask it. I have a question for you. How many events do you guys have to put on? You listen. Tommy from Brotherhood is next. After Zara from BSU. Who next? Oh. I got them, trust me. Okay. What's your name? Alice? Alice. And who do you represent? Rise up. Ooh, when I was freshman year, they used to blow my phone up. Praise the Lord. So we got Alex from Rise Up. Say rise up, everyone. Rise up. No. Let me give you dry energy. You don't want that. Rise up, everyone. Rise up.
Rise up.
All right. So my question for you is, who is your class director? Not class, but your recognized board director. Category director. What is your Okay. I'll let you slide. So we have Zara from BSU. We have Tommy from Brotherhood. We have Alex from Rise Up. Who's next? Don't get scared now. Put them on with pride. Come on. Okay. My question for you is, what is my full government name?
Everybody knows.
No. The gal said she only know me as Destiny. Let me tell you now, my name is Destiny Armani George. Remember it. It might be next Oprah, okay? All right. Okay, fine. You kind of say Destiny. I don't know who that is. So, period. So what's your name? What do you represent? All right, y'all. This is Nashley, and she represents the Japan Club. We like that. A lot. All right, we're gonna stop there. Who is it on? Oh. I'm coming. So I hope y'all got your questions written down, because when they get up there, we don't want to. Oh wait, I forgot. Write it down. Come on, grandmothers. You're only young. You're like. Go ahead. Wait, question for you. All right. So, why did the SGA have to change their whole statute? Because of the lawsuit. So it's not them, it's the lawsuit people. All right. So when I hear SGA stuff, no, the lawsuits. Say it with me. The lawsuit.
The lawsuit.
God bless. All right. What? Yes. Hey, y'all. Queer. And who represents? Did I get that?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. We lost count. How many people we get? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Also, nobody else get no questions. Okay. My question for you is what? Huh? Oh, we getting there. Don't mess with my program. Try my life. Anyways, question for you is, can you name the person that just say, what's her name? What's their name? What's his name right there? The one that looked back. What is his role? Okay, so if you know his role, you need to know the name attached to the role, okay? That is Ashawn Lenara. You have to remember that because when he leaves, you will actually see it now. His name is everywhere before the administration part, okay? All right. What's your name?
My name is Alessandra, and I represent the MSCP program.
Go green, everyone. Woo! All right, we're gonna stop right there, and then I'll add the other 4 when I feel like it. I'm playing. Let's just get them up there. All right, now I present to you not only are they in charge of our budgets and our statutes and laws and all that, we have, say it one more time with me. I say administration, y'all say his name because if I butcher it one more time, he might just mess me out, okay? I don't want to get fired. I don't get paid. No, G, did you hire? Y'all hire me for a reason or not? Oh, okay. You know what I mean? I say his first.
Lenada.
Administration. Here you guys go, clap them up. No. See, they're not even prepared. We're gonna try this again. Like, I'm supposed to be up here hyping like come on to energy.
I can't bring the energy like Destiny Armani George, so can everyone give her a hand? What I can do is just kind of say that thank you everyone for coming out. You know, this is day 2 of our retreat. It's great that you guys made time for this because it's not something you just up and at them. Just like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. You guys made time in your busy lives to come out here, so thank you guys. And then secondly, I know it's been yesterday was kind of a more intense kind of day. You guys came back with more energy, so thank you guys for that. And yeah, we're just all kind of looking forward to seeing and informing you guys for this upcoming year. So I'm gonna pass it on to Sean so he can give some few words.
All right, well, hello everyone. Good morning again. Listen, we are here for you. We are not going against you. We are for and by you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the role of the SGA, to be for the students and by the students. So hold on. So give me 1 second. Loading.
Q&A.
So Fatu, you were the first one to have the question, right? Let's go for it.
My question is I want to know to get interactive.
So my question for Ashawn is, how do you do it? And that means, I'm getting there. How are you like basically president of like SGA, being an RA, like doing all of these leadership roles, but at the same time, how are you able to like manage like your mental health, physical health, and emotional connection?
Come up with an amazing answer.
All right, well, wow. First, I had to learn how to value my time. I feel like I was putting my time into a lot of different avenues before I became president, but it was like, okay, I'm president now. I gotta like make the time for it. Like This is not no position that you go into the office, you do what you gotta do, and make your way off. No, this requires hours. This requires a lot of sacrifice. This requires a lot of effort. And not for nothing. You can ask Tommy when we were on Brotherhood together. That was like my major. You know what I'm saying? Like I put so much time into it. But don't get me wrong. I have to give myself time to myself too. So one thing I want to say is when it comes to mental health, y'all ever heard of a mental health day or like a me day or just a day for yourself? I've learned how to take one every week. Obviously not during the weekday. I will do it on Saturday or even Sunday. If I miss Saturday and I do too much work on Saturday, I'll do it on Sunday. So having that time for me, and no offense, I'm not gonna check my emails that day, but like literally, like just making sure that I'm focused on me, whether it be going to the gym, going for a bike ride. I like bike rides, like that's my thing. Watching a movie, because nowadays I don't know how to sit down and watch a movie. Like it's ridiculous. I feel like I'm not at work or I'm not. But I realized that's what I needed to be the most successful I can be at this position. You said, how do I? Okay, so with other positions as well. So those of you that don't know, I'm also a resident assistant in Machuca Heights.
Fun fact, he was my RA when I first met
That's how we met. Yeah, that's how we met. So that's the only other thing I'm doing right now. But like, I trust and believe I did like 1,000 things on this campus. But like, I feel like with this position, it's like, no, I gotta take all my time that I had for all these 100 different things and like circle it on SGA. Because that's how much I value this role, how much I value you guys, and how much I value the impact that this year will have on everyone, you know? It's important for me to make sure that the time that I spend in the 24 hours I have in a day, I bring it up, I split it evenly. If you look at my GCal, my group calendar, or even my physical agenda, because I use both, that's how I get right. I'm a man of order, man of organization. I don't play that. You know what I'm saying? If it comes to making a decision of doing this or doing that, it's like, okay, I'm gonna break down the logistics of each decision so that I know I made the right one. I'm not gonna, aim like mindlessly, like I'm not gonna shoot, like, you know what I'm saying? I wanna be able to make sure that if I'm making a decision, it's gonna be thought out right, it's gonna be processed right. And of course, I got the team. It isn't just a one-man mission. I ask them everything. Obviously, certain things I gotta do for me, but at the same time, it's like, they're always involved. We work together, we're a unit, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we all gotta work together. So yeah, that's the best way I can answer that question. Thank you. Oh, okay.
You want the mic or?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Tommy. The question I had for the SGA was, how do you apply for more money and when?
So, G, I think this one's for you.
So at the beginning of the semester, everybody's gonna be able to get a chance to apply for the money. Once again, I said it's first semester, so you only be able to apply for 5,000 for 4 or 5,000 for spring as of right now. We're working on the process about like because it's supposed to go to a committee, which is to our legislation, so that takes a little bit of time. So the time will be really all the details, all the information, get a nice big email. And we'll go to the appropriations committee. Once you go to the appropriations committee, it gets approved and you get access to it. And right away you get to use it. So I don't know if that's good.
That's good. Thanks, G.
Yeah, all right. Next on our list was Alex. Okay.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm President of RESO. So in the past, we had to have required like bi-weekly meetings with our class directors. So I know like the class is not a thing anymore, and that's more like the category groups. So are we going to have like required meetings with them, or what's the communication going to look like for that?
All right, I'm gonna answer that right now. So your category directors will still have bi-weekly meetings, but this will not necessarily be to collect minutes or like all that's already out the window. That's done. But these meetings are still gonna happen in order to check the pro, just to see how you guys are doing. It's not necessarily like, okay, your category directors are gonna be here to like enforce rule or policy. No. They're just there to ensure that all is well and that you're doing what, like, literally just making sure that everything's going good. And of course, if we have anything to tell them, they're gonna relay it over to you.
Gonna say that they're gonna be there to keep you guys updated. So we all suggest you guys send in a legislator, but also, if you want someone that's from your e-board, legislator, but if you want, typically that's what we have the president to go and directly talk. They'll talk to the director, and they can, there's different points of contact. So there's not only be one way, which is just a legislature. You also have that space to be able to communicate with us. So also directly hitting us up and being like, hey, what's the issue? But for the most part, you see there's different methods on communicating and just overall, that's kind of how we're gonna keep the system, keep order. We have different methods.
All right. Oh.
So a legislator would serve under the legislative branch of the Student Government Association. They need to be sworn in. A legislator directly can create, amend bills that affect all undergraduate student body members. A liaison, so if someone goes to a class like one meeting and stuff like that, not like category directors and stuff like that, you can speak to them, your point of contact, but a legislator has duties, a legislator has power within the legislature. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, and Ashley? Where? Raise your hand. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm the treasurer of Japan Club. This is like a really answering question. Is the process for getting a legislator the same as it has been for the past years?
So that kind of depends. So last year, because it was COVID time, we were going on an emergency position. This year, legislative meetings will be held in person. However, due to COVID restrictions, I have decided to keep the same emergency packet because not everyone's going to feel comfortable going around asking 150 people for signatures because of the new Delta variant, and because no one is really aware of anyone else's vaccination. If they're vaccinated, right? So we don't want to put legislators in uncomfortable positions. So because of that, this year emergency packets will be turned into me via PDF online. They can also do it in person if they feel comfortable coming into the office. But the emergency legislative form that doesn't require all the signatures will be used for this year.
All right. Let me see who we have next. Cool. Akuya, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's been a long morning. All right, let's get it.
Hi, my name is Akuya, and I'm from MSU Penson. So my question is, do e-board members get priority in SGA scholarships?
So the quick answer is no. So there has been history where there are SGA exclusive scholarships. I know the last time we did that was about 2018. So this scholarship was made, I believe it was like $1,000. So like any other standard scholarship, and it was made only available to people within the SGA. So that would fall within the legislature, within the cabinet, within the justices,
and president and vice presidents are from the e-board of our organizations, right? I can promise that that scholarship is going to be available. That's kind of something that I will see if I'm comfortable with the next year, just because everything is new. But no one gets priority. It is open to all students. And yeah.
All right, I believe it was Alexandra. Okay. And after that, we'll just keep going.
Hi, my name is Alexandra, and I'm the president of Key Green Program at MCU. My question is kind of simple. So when will the forms be made available to us, and when can we start submitting? I guess, in specific, like the proposal.
I'm going to say by September 1st or the first week of the semester. Because the legalities of it, we gotta be with the lawyers and make sure that we're going and doing everything that's on the forms as viewpoint neutral. We're not having any type of bias. So creating the forms is a little tricky as well. We just got this approved, so like it might take some time. So bear with us. Obviously, we're trying to do our best, but the language of it has to be proper for us to even release it. So you'll get it soon.
How's that so far? Thumbs up?
Do you have a question?
Hands up. Okay, so we have
We have one more person. Yeah. Okay. Dr. Herman is not here yet, so.
Hi, my name is Vincent, I'm president from BSU. My question is regarding like for class ones in our offices. Because we had to go up in front of like the legislator to be approved to get furniture and like access that budget to supply us with certain things. Are we able to at all like get that? Because since we're not having the office, we don't need those furniture anymore. Are we able to like get that money back or be reimbursed to our budget?
As of right now, no. We're gonna go into the legalities of it. Once again, your funding that you did receive was from the Student Government Association. So it's not like it was yours to keep or yours to have for yourself. We're gonna go look at the legalities of that as well and to see what we'll do about that. Like I understand your viewpoint that you guys did go for it, but it is still SGA property, if that makes sense.
Hi, I'm Alice, president of SGA Student Association. My question is mainly for the 5,000. If it is approved and don't get to use the entire 5,000, will it be able to roll over?
So the way supplemental appropriations work, as I said yesterday, does not carry over to the next semester. And it'll be based off of what you request. So you can request $3,000 for that semester, and you just get $2,000. So the $2,000 will just stay in the pot. You don't have to use the whole $1,000. That's if you need it. It's called supplemental appropriations for as a need basis. So the cap is 5,000, but if an organization only needs $1,000, they just get the $1,000 and that's it. And then the rest of the money just stays in the pot. If that makes sense. So that gives another organization. So that'll give more organizations the opportunity to get more money. You don't need to use the whole $5,000. And the $5,000 for the fall doesn't carry over to spring. And any money doesn't carry over to the next fiscal year. Does that answer your question?
So I'm going back 2 questions ago, talking about kind of the legislation that needs to be put in place in regards to how it's still working with development of the lawsuit. So that 90-page document we were looking at yesterday kind of had a lot of like ways to get money, right? The laws. I was wondering like, what's the time? I know there's a lot of small details that have to go into that, but there's a suggested timeline as to when that's completed and like how true to it will be to the one right now.
So September 8th, and it's gonna be in person. Like I said, send me personally an email if you want to get a legislator in. They need to be sworn in at the first meeting and then they become voting members.
So just to keep going with that question, should we wait till after that September 8th meeting then to start submitting budget requests?
Well, yes, you probably won't even have a choice on that because those documents probably, like Jay said, won't be available until the first full week of school. And everything needs to be approved for it to actually go in. You can't submit a paperwork that isn't approved, it's invalid. So you would have to wait.
Thank you.
Next question.
My name is Francis. I'm the president for NASO. I have two questions. My first question is, what specific initiatives and projects will you undertake to make SGA more transparent and accessible to students?
Yo, can answer that. All right. So one thing about us, one of our missions, like I said, was I think Carla said it yesterday, was visibility and putting ourselves out there. One thing about us is we're going to make sure we're as available as possible, whether it be through our office hours, whether it be outside of our office, or just at events. We're trying to make sure that the students understand that SGA is here and we're here to help, we're not here to hurt. One thing about us though, we are having this retreat. That's a prime example right there. Having this retreat is a prime example. Making sure that we are all aware and on the same page. Because without the planning that was done this summer, that was one of the main points. Making sure that we were as understanding for the organizations that we are, what's the word I'm looking for? Understanding and compassionate. There you go. Compassionate. Because without you guys, we're nothing. So that's the best way I could put it. But like I said, we're all going to answer this question. So, could you repeat the question one more time, please?
I asked what specific initiatives and projects would you undertake to make SGA more transparent and accessible to students?
I don't know if this is a good term, but not be standoffish, if that makes sense. We want y'all to feel like y'all can come to us for anything, and show face. We're at all these meetings with all the administration. That's why we got all these nice people are oh, they got nice polos and this and we have that so that we can represent the student government association well on campus. They see us with these polos and they see us coming around with our notebooks and like that. They're about their business. You know what I'm saying? So us being about our business is how we can be transparent. We can show that we actually care about the 16,000 undergraduate students that we serve. So I think that's the best.
I think one of the biggest examples that we can give to show that we really do have all of your best interests is that this summer we've had to go over a hill of work that wasn't necessarily ours to do just to be able to get here. So it's something that we have all kind of agreed on, that we've been working on work that has put us not necessarily back, but we have been doing the work to start on ground zero again, just for the upcoming year. You understand? We wanted to make sure that we have everything figured out. We're students too. Some of us were taking summer classes, other of us were doing internships, stuff like that. And we have really been trying to send emails. We've really been trying to figure out the policy before telling you, right? Because imagine us coming in here, letting you know, or emailing you guys on June 1st about all these issues. Oh, your offices are up in the air. Your budget is up in the air. Everything is up in the air, just so you know. There's no comfort in that, right? You guys would have been left up in the air. What we've been doing is making sure that we have something structured before we kind of brought it to you, right? And I think that it plays a part in how we're going to be transparent for the year, because obviously we're going to let you guys know what you need to know, but before that, we're going to make sure that we can take care of y'all before we kind of give you this information that can keep you guys in the spiral. Does that make sense? But we all have office hours. Our office hours are going to be a little different this year just because all of us are student leaders. So like Michelle said yesterday, sometimes that door may be closed, but we have an email and we have them right there on the front door. and stuff like that. I know as far as I go, I have sent you guys a link since starting this retreat, since starting planning this retreat on how to get a legislator in, because that is your way to know what's going on. Because I obviously can't email all of y'all, letting y'all know the agenda for the week. You guys can look it up. The agenda is available for everyone here. It's public knowledge. It's on the website. To get in tune with us, that's how we are going to be transparent for the year. Does that make sense?
Real quick, I just want to say, like the stuff that we've been doing this whole like summer and everything, we're not doing things just for this year. Like we're really looking to like the future SGA. Like we're like, yo, we can't set up a system that's only gonna work for this specific year. Like we have to like, we could have just threw a whole bunch of numbers, put a whole bunch of words together, and just rocked out for a whole year. And then next year they would have had another situation, another lawsuit possibly. So that's why we try to nip it in the bud and we try to get everything in order so that the SGA's changed forever. Like, we call ourselves a revival. We're going to revive Washington State, revive the SGA. So that's just what I thought.
So your question said what like initiatives and programming, right? So I'm gonna attack directly towards that. And so basically, at least from my end, I'm the secretary. So one of the things I'm starting up is a media team. So making sure that I have a team of people that is, available to all organizations and departments and getting the information that they have and then directing it to all students. So making sure that the student government is serving you guys. So that's one way of transparency, of showing the work that we're all going to be putting in that work, of showing every department, every resource, every center. And then on top of that, another thing is, there was another point. Oh, so another thing that we're going to do on transparency is also we're going to be having our own type of programming. So you guys can actually sit with us and discuss with us. So like if we have study sessions with the SGA, that's open to everybody. Come sit with us. We'll be studying with you guys and like have those type of conversations. Like depending on the day that we're having it. Hey, like, as a recent, like I wasn't able to go to the most recent legislative or go to the cabinet director thing. Come just sit with us. So I feel like that's, even though it's not, I guess, a huge, big initiative as of yet, we're taking baby steps to develop that type of relationship with you guys. Because if we do these big, lavish events to lure you guys in, that's not authentic. That's not authentic to who we are either. We're the type of people that wants to get to know people on a personal level. So making smaller initiatives of having smaller type of events, just, I feel like even seeing us is a bigger initiative. Not that kind of sounded a little tough, but like more of as in like due to the pandemic, everyone was behind a screen. We're gonna try to make ourselves more apparent. Like those, like us saying office hours, we're not just saying, oh, just show up and da-da-da. We're not trying to dismiss you guys. We're saying literally, we have office hours, come see us, come discuss with us. Because I feel like it's easier in person, just face to face, asking us questions. You can't hide behind a screen. We can't hide anything behind the screen. If you ask us directly, we're gonna have to give you a direct response. So those are kind of smaller initiatives. Once the school year begins, we'll try to roll out some bigger initiatives to engage with the community, but we also have to see about COVID regulations and everything to make sure you guys are being safe. So I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, ask it again, but we'll try.
Another thing, Francis, is this year is still unpredictable, but we're doing the best that we can to make sure that we're still having fun in the process. And that's what I want to do. Like I said it before, I'll say it again. This is going to be tough, but as long as we have fun in the process, I know it will be worth it. Yeah.
So Francis has one more question, and then I think someone down here had a question.
So my last question is, what would be your main priority to support student groups, and what do you think is most likely right now, and how would you address it?
So, all right. So you said main priority. Go ahead.
What would you say is lacking right now, and how would you address it?
Lacking? Oh, what would you say lacking right now?
Yeah.
All right. So,
in general, like in the student groups, yeah, like it's us, yeah.
So I mean, engaging with the organizations, obviously, trying to set up, if any director or if any president or anybody of an organization needs help I guess at least from mine end, and I can only speak from a secretarial standpoint, promoting you guys, because I feel like at least a lot of organizations I felt like died out last year, and it wasn't their fault of their own. Like, no, it was no one's fault. You know, it was coming up with programming is difficult. Keeping students engaged is difficult via Zoom. I applaud the organizations that were able to excel in that because they definitely put in work for that. So obviously being a listening ear, you know, just shoulder like to lean on, you know, literally we're just gonna kind of be listening to what you guys have, you know, just talk to us. At least to me, I'm gonna be very interactive with the organizations to be able to promote any events that you guys have. If you have a flyer, send it my way. I'm gonna put it on the page. If you have something, we'll try to put it on the TikTok. Even have a TikTok, LinkedIn, anything. We're gonna be super engaged with you guys here. Can you say the second part of your question? I was trying to lead into it.
Which one? The third one? That was the second one you just.
Okay, the third one then.
I was asking how would you address it, but I believe you answered that already.
Okay. Oh, and the lacking. You said there. How are we? What's lacking?
Yeah, what was like?
So I was gonna say personally, I think it's that communication. You know, it's been difficult to communicate with just with one another. So making sure that with us, we're making sure that like you address transparency, that we're being transparent with you guys. We're not trying to hold or hide anything like ha ha ha, this is our evil plan, you know, we're gonna dominate. I don't know. Okay.
So like, I don't know if you know this, but we didn't email you guys in June or July, I think. We didn't email you like in July, right? I'm sorry, late July, right? It was late. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but like that was pretty much almost 2 months, you know. And typically, student government executive board emails the orgs the first or second week of June. The reason why we didn't do that though is because we were figuring all of this out. You know, we were figuring all of it out, and we will be wrong. We'll be doing an injustice if we had reached out to you guys and said hi, hello, all smiles and you know, nice leaves and flowers, because it was the darkness behind it all that we needed to figure out first before we shared it with you. And not just figure it out, but come up with a solution for it. You guys, oh yeah, y'all not gonna have this no more, this can't happen no more, this can't. But we want to also tell you guys, well, listen, you can do that, and that as well. So yeah, for instance, to answer your question, we lack communication big time. But we're going with the flow right now in the sense where it's like, if we know it, then we'll share it with you. If we have a solution, we'll share it with you. Because we're in this situation where it's like, we're coming off of a year like no other. None of you guys deserved the year and a half that just happened. And for y'all to be in this room is a blessing. And for y'all to be in this room means that y'all are serious about this craft. And I appreciate you all for that. So just one time, clap it up for yourself. But yeah, but like I said, for instance, certain things we learned, like for example, so the whole office situation and the budget and the budget cuts and all that, we learned that over the summer. We weren't about to tell you, like, oh, this is gonna happen, but the whole time something else is gonna happen. Like I said, I'm a man of order and organization. I'm assertive, and I want to make sure that I know everything before I share it with anybody. So yeah, that's the best way I can answer that.
All right, thank you.
I think obviously as the Student Government Association, this we've been lacking with communication, but I want to take it like a little bit of a step further, just as we do in my goals. But like, you guys are students first, and I think that during the pandemic, it's been really hard to do programming. So like Ashawn and Christy said, if you guys are here and you guys are still an e-board member, it's because you are serious about your effort. So that is definitely a given. But I think another way where I've seen a little bit of lack is kind of like the compassion or kind of help for you guys as student leaders. Like the presenter, Mr. Walker, was talking about yesterday, we have student leaders who are sometimes lacking within like their studies, lacking within like their personal issues. And I think that, so yeah, we're the SGA, and yeah, we control, we look over your budget, things like that, but also we're student leaders that have a lot of resources. And I think that's something that has been lacking within the SGA, not us that are, I can't say us because this is our first year, but previous e-boards, not necessarily handing out a hand to help you guys out when you guys are like, my GPA is dropping. What should I do? Where can I get tutoring? I'm going to med school. Is there free MCAT stuff here? Is there free LSAT training? And there are and stuff like that. And you know, we should be a resource to you guys. And I think overall that's been something that the SGA has been lacking with over the years as a whole, forgetting that we're not just student leaders and not that we run this, and not only do we run this corporation, but we are also supposed to be like another version of your, like not necessarily, but like another version of your RAs. We're supposed to help you guys out, get you guys some resources, get you guys what you need. And as for me, if you guys know me, most of you don't, but like whatever you need, I'm there. You need tutoring, I know where to find it. You need help, I know where to find it. I've worked everywhere under Montclair, literally. I worked in every place. You'll see me everywhere this year, especially. If you need anything, if you need help tips on resumes, stuff like that, real things. Because we get caught up in this, because it's really important. But there are other things waiting for us, especially those of you. And I'm gonna be there. I have office hours, I have an email, and yeah, just reach out. Okay.
All right, so we have room for one more, and we're, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
As soon as you guys have signature cards, which is what you guys are gonna get today, as soon as you get them signed with the president and treasurer's signatures, you submit them to my office. You're good to go. You guys are officially financially trained. The process, so that's Carl.
Okay, so like I spoke earlier, their emergency packets will be used this year. What that is basically is going to be like a PDF of 3 pages, and all a legislator would have to do is put in their information, what answer the questions that are asked, but there will be no need for signatures. So what you need to do as an organization is reach out to me, or you can reach out, or you can look back in your email to the first email that I sent you in the summer in regards to the fall retreat. The link is found in the first email that I already sent you. So you guys already have the link. If you need it again, I can resend it, reach back out to me. Okay, I think that was it for questions. Well, I'll take one more for Tam. Well, first, let's disclose that we are not at the administration and we do not have any sort of say, influence in any of that.
But what we will say is, remember, you can still do virtual events now. Like, that's still an option. Like, if you want to completely use the virtual, you know, Zoom and all that, go for it. Like, that's literally up to your discretion. But, you know, more than, go ahead.
There is no RHA, so there's no in-person online requirement anymore. So if you want to do your events online for your guys' safety and for your members' safety, you're more than welcome to do so. When it comes to booking, that's a whole different field that's not in our realm. But when it comes to, hey, do we have to do in-person or online events? That's up to your own discretion at this point, in the shortest answer.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Go for it.
So, adding to that question, just say we, like in advance right now, I book a general body meeting in late October, and then like COVID breaks out even worse. Do I cancel that, or just I want to switch it to online? Like, how would that work if we book something in advance and then something comes up with COVID?
Because she's the source on this one. So he said when say he puts his general body meetings for the whole semester full in person, but like say late October, out, God forbid, something occurs, we have to go virtual again.
Switching to online is like easy breezy, beautiful up girl, like do your thing. Going to in person, different animal. Switching to online, you can just switch it to online.
Okay, cool.
I have a question about follow up.
Well, go ahead, you can ask.
Go ahead, sorry. I was gonna say, with that, like, is there a whole other process for it to get approved or when? Yeah, but online events, they're not automatic, but it's like, you gotta look, you show us, as long as you have all the information, it'll get approved. If you switch to online, it's literally easy, like, easy online.
You want to say one more? Or you're good? We'll take one final. Okay. Oh, never mind.
Sorry. So like I announced at breakfast, checkout was at 12, is at 12. So I needed all of your stuff out. Can everyone just confirm that everyone has all their bags in the Vanderbilt room? Is there anyone that doesn't? No? Perfect. Thank you.
Hi. Sorry, first of all, I'm sorry. It's been a journey to get here. Y'all been inside and dry and safe. It's not right here. You're welcome. My favorite thing in life is doing like 15 miles an hour on the parkway. So, okay. Anyway, good morning. My name is Julie Fleming. I am the Associate Director of Student Involvement in the Center for Student Involvement. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Engage. I promise you can find all of this information online as well, but sometimes it helps to walk through and see this. How many of you would say that you are totally an expert and know exactly what to do for your engagement? Nice. I love that there's that many. Great. That means that the rest of you are like, what? So, I apologize for my lateness, but I'm going to keep you all on time and we're going to do the thing. So, all right. So what we are going to talk about today, accessing Engage, what to do right now, registering your organization. We'll talk about the event check-in and tracking attendance piece. We're going to talk about forms and where you can find resources. We'll have a few minutes for Q&A at the end there, okay? What we're not going to talk about is event requests. So it was good that you got your event things in. If you have not been paying attention to your organization email, please do so. You got an email from CSI, which if you missed the training, tells you what to do to catch up for the in-person stuff. But truly, if you go to edit your event, once it's approved, you can change it to online, literally no problem. But we're not going to go in depth on events. We're not going to go in depth on budgets. And we're not going to go in depth on elections. Stay tuned when the time comes for those things. There you go. So what to do now? You want to verify your primary contact. And I'm going to go into Engage in just a hot second and show you what this looks like. This is like the last slide. You want to verify your primary contact of your organization. It should have been done for you. The people before you should have passed it on to you. But there is an update your primary contact form right on the main page if you need to do that. Add others to positions. We're going to walk through that. When we ask you to submit your organization registration, it's going to be tweaked a little bit based on some of the things you learned about yesterday. Check the visibility of all the stuff you have on your organization's page. Does it need to be public? Does it need to be for members only? Et cetera, et cetera. Last fall, we changed from HawkSync to Engage. So if any of you have not made that switch on any of your social media from your OrgSync link to your Engage link, make sure you do that. And then build your page thoughtfully. You don't want to just ignore it and abandon it. You want it to be accurate and up to date. Okay, so get out of this. You've all seen this. because I had to use this closed, but you know, we're gonna do the thing. Montclair.edu/engage is the fastest way to get to engage. Most things you need, you have to be logged in to see. So I'll do that real fast. So this is your homepage. You've got, and most of you again have seen this, but we're gonna do this for the sake of those of you that haven't or don't want to admit that you haven't. For average Joes or Janes or Joe James, choose your own adventure, I don't care, that have never interacted with Engage, these are great videos and resources right here for folks to learn about it. That update your primary contact form is right here on forms. Put it there. There it is. If you need to update the primary contact, it's right on that main forms page. Now, for those of you that are administrators on your page or will be, the first thing that you need to get in the habit of doing is being in the manage view. So you all will have explore and manage if you're an administrator of a page. If you're not in manage view, you can't do anything. And like 8 times out of 10, people say they can't do anything it's because they're not in manage view. So just know that you need to be in the manage view of what you're doing. So when you get to the manage view, you're going to see the organizations that you have management access to. We're going to go to my little test organization so I don't hurt anything or hurt anybody else. You'll see that I am the primary contact. I'm also the only member, so, you know. When it's time for you to register your page, which means that you'll update the about information, you'll update rosters, you'll update any documents that are asked for, you'll see this blue box and the option to re-register this organization. Again, you need to be in manage view to do this. It walks you right through what you need to do. In some cases, the information will be there from before, and you just need to tweak it a little bit to make it current. But in some cases, you may need to add a whole bunch of stuff, especially if you're a new organization. You'll need to do a little bit more work on that. It's very easy, very straightforward. Just make sure you click submit at the end. This is the other thing. If you're not managing, you haven't clicked submit at the end. So make sure that you do those things and process them. So, what view do you need to be in to make any changes? Thank you. I promise. Fast default view. They said so. So once you're in your manage view, you go to your little hamburger over here. We've got waffles here. You can see all your things. We've got hamburgers over here. Here's where you find all your tools. So we're going to work our way down the row here. So on your roster, to give people administrative access to your page, again, you can update the primary contact or someone else can update the contact, like pencil. But you want to use the positions tool to be able to give people access to whatever it is you want them to have access to. So you go to manage positions. You see my previously added positions are all about food. So you add the position, whatever you want to call it, pick a position. Can we just make something up? What? President? Sure. That already exists. So give me something like random. Oh, random, like spaghetti what? All right, juice maker. Yeah, I meant like random, like a not real, like none of you should have a juice maker. This is not like a thing. Although, I mean, you could, I guess. There is another institution that they have a meme distribution person on their board. Now there's like 15 meme distribution positions being created right now. Got it. Okay. Yeah, executive juice maker. There it is. So you name the position. Obviously, you want it to be something legit. Like this is not a real organization because, fun fact, when you are assigned to the position, it will show up on your co-curricular transcript. So like, do you really want on your co-curricular transcript or juice? Or, I mean, it depends on what you're going for, but you know, think it through, right? You can decide whether that's a member or an officer. You can decide whether you want to show this position on the public roster. So when folks that are not a member of your organization go to your organization's Engage page, will they see who is the juice maker? If it's not active, don't select active. This is an important thing that will show up in several places. Sometimes if it's not active, that's the problem why things aren't showing up. You can select if you want this person to be the one to receive emails on every Engage page, on every organization page. There's a contact the organization button. So you would check this off if this is the person who you would want to receive them. Setting management access is also important. So this juice maker right now can't do anything. They just put the name. You can decide if they want all access, if you want them to have all access to everything on your Engage page, or limited access, meaning you only want them to be able to manage events and forums. So you can decide what that is, but so if you have an event coordinator position, which is like a real thing that most people have, perhaps they only need access to the events. They don't need everything else. You can decide and make that accordingly. There are some positions that are already sort of built in. They just need to be assigned to the person. So once you have all your positions, we've got president, secretary, treasurer, VP, and event coordinator are already there. You don't need to create those positions, but if you have anything like juice maker, you would need to do that. To add folks to those positions, you go to your roster, and then you can click on the pencil next to their name. I am the all things. Definitely the cupcake captain, just for the record. So you save that, and then the person will have all of the positions you've assigned to them. Ideally, and what should be happening and for you all moving forward is that as you transition to the next e-boards or positions change, you should be changing the roster and updating it accordingly. It is the responsibility of the organization to make sure that the right people are listed in the right position. That does become part of your registration process, but just know that you can do that at any point. If your juice maker is like, you know what, never mind, I hate juice, I'm out, you can assign that position to someone else and remove that person from the position as needed. So be responsible with that and use it appropriately. Questions on rosters, positions, administrative access? Yes. Yep. Yeah. So folks, people can join. I believe the default is that if people opt to join the organization, they can be in it already. Like there's a button that you can click. I'm like a member of every organization, so I can't show you that, unfortunately. But there's an option for people to do that. You would go to this invite people and add their emails. Very, very important thing for all of Engage. You've got to use their @montclair.edu emails. Gmails will not get people in. Organization emails will not get people in. At mail.montclair.edu, which you probably have never even heard of, but that won't get you in. And then folks need to check their email or go to the notifications to accept the membership. Yeah. Yep. I'm going to show you the event pass. We're going to talk about that check. There's a couple of options for you to get people attendance that are very easy, and I would encourage you to get in the habit because it populates. A, it helps you all know how many people are showing up to your stuff, which is important. And B, it populates on people's co-curricular transcripts. So for RAs, you need to submit that, show that you showed up to stuff. So you want to get in the habit of adding people. We are going to talk about event attendance and access and all those kinds of things. When you add the invite people, once you add once you add an email address, It will ask you how you want to invite them. So you can invite them as a member of the organization, or you can invite them to a specific position. So it tries to skip steps as much as possible, but folks got to pay attention to their email. And there is the option for just anybody, any students, to join the organization from the main page. Anything else on the rosters in that piece? We are going to go back to our list here, our tools. About gets edited through your registration, but you can also edit it at any time. If you are like, wow, we our organization name, which has happened, don't do that. You can edit that. Events, again, we're going to not talk about that. We will talk about, actually, let's talk about that. Let's do this event right now. So we've got our events. A couple of options for you to do. You can always you have your event list, all the things that you've got. You can add attendance in a couple of ways. You can do a text entry. So on things like Zoom or anything you've got people signing in, you can just add a list of email addresses and then select that they've attended. So you can put like copy and paste from an Excel spreadsheet or something. You can copy and paste it right in here. The whole list of things, you put one person on one line. Correct. It'll tell you if there's a problem with them and what the problem is. Again, it's got to be an @montclair.edu email address. Otherwise, it won't count. So you can do, like it says, up to 500 at one shot. So you can do that. Or you can do a file upload. So if you've got an Excel spreadsheet, you want to save it as a CSV file. There's an option for the Zoom files, but they don't always work. So I would say just default and do a CSV file, upload it, and it adds everybody. So super easy to do as long as you've been tracking attendance. If you wanted to do swiping people in, you can use your swiping. You go to the swipe page and you can do it right in there. You can also swipe into an Excel spreadsheet, which is very helpful when our Wi-Fi is so great. Sometimes really it's just sometimes very much easier to swipe into an Excel spreadsheet. And the cards just keep coming. Like, it just goes one down the other. So that's an option always. Where you click into the swipe page and it will let you swipe. The other piece, I'm actually gonna let their walk through because why reinvent the wheel? Let's work smarter, right? But you want to be paying attention to this event access code for the swipe in app. So administrators for your organization, someone that has access to the events piece, will need to have downloaded the check-in app. It looks like this. I know you can see that from that far away, so that's why we're doing it on here. But there's a check-in app, and you need that access code. So it's kind of walking through here where you find that. And again, just follow that access code, just like I showed you just a moment ago. You go to events, you find the access code, and that's what you enter on the app. It will look like that when you do so. I love that they created these videos because it's way better than anything I would have shown you. You get to your event, you click start scanning, people pull up their event pass. So people go to, if they're on their website, they can do the same thing on their phone or through the Corp app. Click on your face or your not face, whatever you've got there. And then go to event pass and you've got your QR code. So you as the attendee, as someone attending an event, have your own event pass. You can add it to your Apple Wallet. You can save it to your Google thing. You can screenshot it, whatever makes your heart happy. Your thing. But then once it comes time to walk into the event, you will pull up your event pass. First, with the app on their phone, the event pass, just like that. If a person doesn't have their event pass, you can search them by their email name. Anyone that is a student, we update it fairly often. It might be a little strange at the beginning of the semester because new students are being added all the time, so there may be a delay in some folks. You can kind of just take down the email or something to add them later, which you search if they don't have their event pass. You can also, if you messed up someone, you can remove them. And you can also check people out. So if you have something that you need people to be there for X amount of minutes to get credit, I don't know, whatever scenario you might need to do that for, you can check people out. And then it will show up on their attendance, on their event history, that they have been at the juice making demonstration for 8.5 minutes. I guess it's a fast demonstration, but you can check people out if you need to do that. So it's really very easy. And then on your, you can end the session or don't, you can just close the app to give you the option to your own adventure. And then at the end, you can see anybody attending here. If you go back to the event and then go to track attendance, it will list the folks that have attended if you need to. Super easy to do. I know it's strange to not actually do it right now, but once you're doing it, you get in the habit. It's very, very, very easy and very intuitive. Questions on event check-in or adding attendance? Yes. Nope. No, the event pass is just for Engage. The event pass is an Engage thing and is not connected to Eventbrite. Sorry. Because the other thing too is the event pass is for any event on campus that is doing access. It's not just for SGA related stuff. It's for like it's a student regardless of what events you're attending. So you can use that for all the things. Back there and then here. Yep. Yeah, there's like no excuses. If they don't want to give that up, I'm suspicious. Right? You will want to pick sort of one, like, it'll get a little confusing if you have multiple things going on for one event. I might have I would try to do the scanning, especially because then you don't have to touch anything. You can just be like, thank you, next, which I would highly, highly encourage to minimize that. My next thing would be to have a spreadsheet that you can just type people's emails in. And then next, I would say swiping because that is more high touch. And I don't need you touching each other. So, yeah. I'm doing well today. When you are an administrator of the organization, yes, you'll have it because you'll be able to get the access code and go there. People that are not administrators of your organization or your page, I should say page, because they may not necessarily send your report, won't have access to the access code piece, and so that won't show up for them. Yes.
When registering an event on Engage, like you know how we have for keyboards, you have to go for EBMs, you have to do like a continuous one. When I submit, it doesn't send like you know how you have on the last page, it's like the pending approval. I didn't see the event pop up, and it says successfully submitted. But
They sort of live in this weird limbo place until they are processed.
oh, so I won't see it until like
Right.
approval.
Yep. Yep. And the other thing too is when you submit multiple events, like one request, which please do that. Please do that. I beg of you. Please submit all the things because on Engage you can do different times. It will show up as separate events on the like attendance side. So if you check someone into one GBM, it won't give them credit for all of them. It'll give them credit for that one. Good. Okay. Moving right along. Again, you can play with stuff. You're not gonna break it. I will break it. You won't. So, you may want to do like a test thing if you want to, and the executive board meeting might be a great time to sort of practice this kind of things. And you'll get the credit for being at the executive board meeting, credit. But then you can practice the different ways of checking people in. So I would strongly suggest that you do that. We're going to go back to our hamburger. News, you can add news to your organization if you have like, hey, election time, attention, whatever. Documents, if you want to put your constitution, if there's instructions for something particular, you can add that as a place to keep your files. We're going to talk about forms. I heart forms. I hope you'll find a way to make them useful in your organization. You can do a whole lot of things. There's a separate process for voting, but if you need to know what shirt sizes are, if you need to know what food allergies people have, if you want to collect people's pronouns, whatever, if you have questions for people, you can ask them on forms. The kebab, so we've got waffles and hamburgers and kebabs. Thank you for indulging me in this. As a cupcake captain, I appreciate it. So you go to the kebab or the three bubbles, 3 dots, whatever makes your heart happy, and you'll go to create form. A couple of things that are important on this first page. You want to name it something that makes sense. Again, if it's not checked active here, no one will see it, and all of your work will be funded. So make sure that you have selected active. You can pick the start and end time for when the form is available for folks to see. If you just need people to submit it, they don't need nobody needs knowledge, just need to exist in the system, you would say no review required, and then it is just listed as submitted. If you need people to approve it or deny it, you would ask for the enable approval process. In most cases, you want things to only come from students, but if you have like an alumni survey or something, I don't know, you would add allow public users. That means you do not need to be logged in to see it. I would, whenever possible, not have that because Engage is for students and not students. So keep that up. If you want folks to have multiple submissions, keep that checked. If they can only submit it once, uncheck that. I don't know that there would be a scenario, but if you needed, this will probably come through in some of the finance and budget stuff, but say if you want people to be able to submit a proposal in your organization, but your treasurer needs to see it, you can enable submitter identified reviewers, which means that the person putting it in can type in your treasurer's email and then your treasurer will see it and review it. So if you need sort of a stepped or a layered review process, you can add these sorts of things. Again, all of this documentation, I'm going to show you where you can find it, but you can play with it, you're not going to break anything. You can't delete a form, but you can archive it, which means that no one will see it. Engage is very big on historical data, so most things you can't delete, but you can archive, so folks can't see it and it won't be the thing. Don't check any of these buttons because this means that only the cookie taster could fill out this form. You want to leave it blank, that way anybody can do it. And save and add questions. The questions come up in pages. You can do them in as many pages as your heart desires. I would not do so many, but down here you have the options for whatever the questions are you're going to ask. If you want to give instructions like we're collecting your favorite pizza toppings and your shirt size,